May 2026 handed gamers a brutal luxury. 4 massive, top-tier titles hit the shelves in a single month, flooding the market and forcing players to make hard choices about where to put their time and money. First-week global sales for Echoes of Eternity, Starfall, Shadow of Kyoto, and Quantum Drive 3 moved a combined 8.4 million copies. You can't rely on reviews. Every game pulled Metacritic scores between 85 and 95. Buying them all requires roughly $280 and clearing 400 gigabytes. The marketing tells you to play every major release the day it drops, but your bank account and your daily schedule usually disagree. So today, we are tossing out generic review scores. Instead, we'll use a scenario match strategy. We are going to map these 4 titles directly against your specific hardware, your free time, and how much mental energy you actually want to spend after a long day. Because a flawless 10 out of 10 game is a bad purchase if its mechanics and time demands clash with the reality of your daily life. Let's start with Echoes of Eternity. This is a massive Japanese role-playing game that asks for over 80 hours of your life just to roll the credits on the main story. In return, it delivers a deeply emotional narrative concerning time and space, backed by a combat system that seamlessly blends thoughtful turn-based planning with fast real-time action. But that payoff requires serious patience up front. The opening hours are incredibly slow, heavily front-loaded with dialogue and exposition before the actual plot gets moving. You also have to accept a few technical bumps. The sheer scale of the environments, running on Unreal Engine 5.4, causes noticeable frame rate drops when you enter densely populated areas, even on current-generation consoles. This brings us to its target profile, the time-rich immersion seeker. This is for players prioritizing deep world-building, with schedules supporting long, uninterrupted gaming sessions. Echoes of Eternity provides an incredible narrative payoff, but if you hate long tutorials or get annoyed by minor performance dips, your $70 is better spent elsewhere. If you want action with scale, Starfall Awakening drops you into an action RPG focused on interstellar war and planetary exploration. It trades linear storytelling for complex moral choices that actively steer the ending. Your decisions directly affect the game's non-playable characters, whose behavior is driven by highly reactive AI. This is also the game to test your hardware limits. It uses advanced ray tracing to create dynamic lighting that currently serves as the graphical benchmark for the PS5. The trade-off here is mental exhaustion. Navigating branching storylines and managing the constant consequences of your actions requires a heavy cognitive load. You cannot play this on autopilot. Starfall targets gamers with top-tier hardware who want a highly interactive, systems-driven simulation over a passive, guided story. It demands constant mental engagement. If you want to relax after work, this simulation will likely feel like a second job. Let's shift away from the massive epics and look at games for mechanical specialists. Shadow of Kyoto places you in feudal Japan. The levels are highly open and non-linear. You are facing advanced enemy AI that reacts to the slightest sound or environmental shift. To survive, you have to memorize patrol routes, utilize fluid parkour mechanics, and stick strictly to the shadows. But the learning curve is steep. If you lose your patience and try to run in swinging a sword, the game will punish you immediately and force you back to a checkpoint. This is built for the patient tactician. It's for players short on time who want to spend their limited hours mastering high-stakes mechanics. Shadow of Kyoto delivers intense, bite-sized satisfaction when a plan comes together, but it offers zero power fantasy for anyone looking for an easy win. Finally, we have Quantum Drive 3. This is an arcade racer entirely concerned with breakneck speeds and massive cinematic crashes. It strips out dry tire pressure physics and complex tuning mechanics to deliver immediate, frictionless dopamine the second the race starts. The main limitation is structural. While you can play solo offline, getting the most out of the massive 64-player multiplayer mode requires a highly stable, high-speed internet connection. This makes it the ideal choice for the heavily scheduled gamer who needs zero-friction action the absolute minute they turn on their console. You sacrifice narrative depth completely, but you guarantee that your 1 free hour today is spent actually playing, not watching cutscenes. Build the scenario match algorithm. Establish your bandwidth. 15 hours weekly is time rich. 2 hours is time poor. Time rich? Pick Echoes of Eternity for linear stories, or Starfall for dynamic choices. Time poor? Choose Shadow of Kyoto for methodical stealth, or Quantum Drive 3 for instant action. Make your decision based strictly on what your Tuesday night actually looks like, ignoring whatever the marketing trailers demand. Buying the game with the highest review score doesn't protect you from buyer's remorse. Aggressively matching that $70 investment to the strict realities of your daily schedule does.